the Marist Saints. They are the host today as Bay Roskill come to play. And before we get to the main match and the build-up with Corey Rosser, who'll be talking to the head coaches from both of the sides, we'll be bringing in the chairman of Marist to talk about the 100-year celebration. So don't go away, don't be too long in regards to us coming back and filling you in with all the news that's going to be happening here with Marist and their 100-year celebration. So welcome back, and we're with Tony Lyman, chairman of the Marist Saints. And Tony, there's a lot happening here in the 100th year, so let's talk about celebrations, mate.
Yep. How you going, Troy? How's things?
Very well, kind of you to ask. Okay, so let's talk about, you got a lot of activity building up. A Queen's birthday weekend, I believe it's all going down. And what's in store for the 3-day program?
Yeah, so we've got a lot involved. Friday the 31st of May, we got the Old Boys Day. So we've got an Old Boys game against the Masters versus Point. So they got their 100 years too, so we thought we'd just have a little game there. And then we're just heading up to the club after that. Then on the Saturday, that's our main day, we've got the Centennial Dinner over at Alexandra Park there, and $90 a ticket there. So that's our really big dinner, over 200 people coming to that.
And I understand those tickets are getting very scarce, so you need to get hold of them pretty quick.
Not many left. We haven't got, I think we only had about 8 tables left. A lot of Marist families have bought a table each, so it's going actually really well, the tables.
So to nab one of those tables or to secure them, how do we go about doing that?
Yep, sure, just go on our Facebook page. We'll have all the details up there shortly, and then hopefully by next week I'll get my website up and
yeah, well, you need to come and see me to do that.
Yeah, I need to come there, yeah. So I'll get that up there, but mainly everything's on the Facebook page.
So with the Masters games then on the Friday, I understand there'll be refreshments at the club. You'll be doing green teas for everyone. Yeah. Saturday's the big dinner, and what's happening on the Sunday?
And then Sunday's like a huge community day, so we're just tied into all the people in the area. Got the kids playing, and also got an Aussie versus New Zealand Old Boys game. So got a lot of guys over in Aussie that are coming back for the weekend. So we've just got them a game. I think it'll be a senior A game, that one. So that should be fun. And then we'll just have a little disco at night.
You doing a cameo on the Masters game?
No. They didn't pay me enough for that one.
Okay. So, look, outside of the 100-year celebration, there's a lot of activity going on down here. Let's talk a wee bit around the clubhouse and what you're doing there.
Yeah, good. So, still got my plans, setting that up hopefully for the end of the year if things go well. So, just a total refurb, change rooms and club rooms. So, that's the vision for the future for the kids. So, really, then in the meantime, we just really my main focus at the moment is just really changing our culture at the club with our prems, and that's where we got Francis and Zane in to help out, and also Ty there. So doing those little changes at the moment, and then still looking after my blooming coaches and managers, because they're the most important thing over in this club. So
awesome, mate. Well, 100-year celebration. I keep coming back to that.
Yep.
The new club about to happen. All this activity. Is this an opportunity for a sponsor for the Saints?
Oh, we've got some sponsors this year.
All right, okay, let's talk to the sponsors. Who we got?
Yeah, so I got my mate Brett Hassel's come back on.
Brett's back. Good on you, Brett.
And then I got my other Chris Morris from On Target Drillings come on board, and there's been a lot of interest from some other club members, some old boys that have come back. So cool. Yeah, we're just starting that up again, but it's been really good this year. So also just signed up with my mate Chili Bar in Linfield, and he's going good, Ming there, so we've worked a relationship with him, so he's going good.
Awesome. Well, look, on behalf of Auckland Rugby League and Marist, to all the sponsors out there, thank you for coming on and supporting the club. Fantastic to have you here, and obviously, great opportunity to be able to talk about them on the live stream. A lot of your ex-players, fans from around the world and Australia, you've mentioned, be watching the live stream here today. What's your pick?
We've got our new white jerseys on today, so I brought them out for today's game against Bay. So hopefully the boys can get up. I know Bay are quite good; they've been really competitive lately. So it'll be a good game. Jono's a good coach, so it'll be a good game. But hopefully the boys can get the win for us today.
Awesome. Look, I know you're really busy, Tony, and appreciate you hosting us here today at the home of the Marist Saints.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't go too far away. Corey Ross is going to be back. He's going to be interviewing the head coaches from both sides, and make sure that you tune in. Make sure that you log on to www.aucklandleague.co.nz. Be back very shortly. Cheers, Tony.
Cheers.
Close. Testing.
Okay, we're now joined by head coach of the Marist Saints, Francis Mellie. Well, Francis, you've been back in Auckland for a little while. Spent some time with the Glenora Bears. How are you enjoying life back with the Marist Saints?
Oh, it's always come back to Marist. This is where I started my junior, and that's where I started my NRL career. So, to come back on the 100 year, it means a lot.
I know you've been involved in a little bit of youth coaching probably in recent times. What's it like returning to Premier level, and what's the main sort of differences that I guess you've had to adapt with your coaching?
It's a massive difference. I think teaching down at the youth level, they tend to teach you a lot, and you got to have patience, and you got to break things down. You got to explain the logic of the different drills. And then coming up to the men's, they've got the sort of aggression and all that, but they don't have the fundamentals. So there's a lot of bad habits where you got to try to change.
The Marist Saints season so far, 1 victory out of 3 games. How do you assess the first 3 weeks?
It's been tough. We played Mount Alba and they came with a good squad. We've still got a young team. Myself and Zane have been working on educating the boys on how to play the game. So, we're just sticking with it at the moment.
How important is it to make sure you get a positive result this year? Obviously last year didn't go to plan for the club, but with it being the 100 years as well, how important is it that you show the improvements you want this year?
It's always important to improve. We spoke to the board there, and we spoke about forget about coming first and winning it. We need to focus on starting the season well, week by week, and if we make it in the 8, we're a chance.
Tell us a little bit about your squad. What can we expect, and what's your sort of style that you've, I guess, tried to employ this year?
We'll probably focus on, we play a pretty expensive football. Doing that comes at a cost. It means your skill level's got to be at a very high intensity, and that's what we've just focused on the whole preseason. Now, the flip side of that is we've got about 50 guys turning up Tuesday and Thursday.
Wow.
So we have a bit of a high standard. If you don't reach the sort of 70-80% standards, and then we've got to give someone else a go.
Fairly young squad, but a few big names to lean on. Missy Ma'u in particular. How important is the leadership of guys like him?
It's a massive. It's massive that Missy. That's what we're missing. We don't have the experienced halves, but he's the only experienced hooker. So sometimes he's very patient with them, and this is his last year, and the boys sort of respect him. He's a good leader. But, we've only just started. We're looking at two years from now.
Fine weather for the time being, and the field's in really good nick. What are you expecting today in terms of the style of gameplay and what gets the job done?
It's a dry pitch, so it's going to be a very fast game. I know the danger for Bay Roskill is, they've had the same team for the last few years, so you don't change much. They fall into their sort of routine normal. With us, we're just going to try to get in their face, and then we're going to try get on the middle and see how we go in the arm wrestle. Other than that, it's always nice to have that sort of when you have the same teams and same plays, you can rely on.
Excellent. All right, well, Francis, thank you very much for joining us. We're going to let you get back to warming the team up now. A very short break for us before we bring in John Ipu from the Bay Roskill Vikings. All the best today, Francis.
Cheers, thank you, appreciate it.
right, now joined by John Ipu, head coach of the Bay Roskill Vikings. Well, John, 3 games into the First Division campaign after coming up last year. How are you finding the Fox Memorial Premiership so far?
Oh man, terrible. Nah, it's awesome, bro. We're loving it. We knew it was going to be a step up from the Shaman Cup, and we kind of had a goal to just take one game at a time, and we've thoroughly enjoyed it. It's been physical, man. I'd say it's been physical, but we're enjoying it.
You mentioned the physical side of it. What are the main differences between the old Shaman Cup and the Fox?
I think the difference is definitely the ruck.
Okay.
The ruck and ruck speed, it's quick. And, you've got seasoned players here who are always looking to find their front quickly to get a quick play of the ball, and they just build momentum off that. And every team is like that. So, that's one of the key differences. Probably the biggest is the ruck speed area. And, you've got players out there that know what they're doing, So you got good halves right across, all these Auckland teams. And, it's tough, but it's really challenging, and we're really enjoying it.
1 victory so far, but 2 losses by 6 points. How do you assess the start to the season?
Oh, man, we're going really well. Unfortunately, we've been ravaged by injury before we even came into the season, but that's footy. And it's opened up opportunities for a lot of our young boys to have a shot at the Fox. And so that's what it's done. It's just given us opportunities, and it's, given our young boys, a chance to foot it with some of the seasoned players, and just to find their way in the game. And, 6 points is 6 points, but still a lot for us to learn, bro.
Francis touched on it in our interview with him just a few minutes ago. The fact that you guys have been together for a number of years now, does that make this a little easier in terms of the fact that I guess everyone's pretty well accustomed to your style now, and everyone gets what the game plan's about?
Yeah, definitely. I think this is our 3rd year being together.
Yeah.
I still think people are still trying to believe what we're trying to do.
Right.
People don't change their minds. It doesn't happen overnight, Corey. It takes years and years and years before you can change mindsets. And, we're not doing anything too hard, except, when you're trying to, I guess, lay down values and standards within a club, it does take a while for people to catch on. We're still dealing with that at the moment, but we have a core group of leaders within our team that are focused and that are looking to hold those values week by week. And we're involved in that too, the leadership, the coaching group. We're a part of them making that happen. It's definitely helped us transition into the Fox, and it's going to help us moving forward. I mean, man, that's a 10-year plan for us. We're not in it overnight. We're in it for 10 years, as long as we can, to help our club just, stay there, change that reputation. We want to be renowned for, playing good, hard footy. We're honest, we're hardworking. That's what we want to be renowned for, ultimately.
In terms of today, come up against a Marist side who are fairly young, some real size in that pack though. What do you need to see from your team today to get the 2 points?
Yeah, look, we're not too much focused on what they've got actually. We do have a plan, and we want to. It just comes down to execution for us, and every player doing their part in the team. But yeah, look, we see a few big bodies over there, so we're looking to move their ball, and we're looking to kick their ball as early as we can, as much as we can. We want them coming out of their end, and hopefully that gives us enough to get on top of them in the back end of the 20 minutes. Don't tell Francis that.
That's right, top secret for the next few minutes. Hey, Jono, thank you very much for joining us. Well done on, first of all, securing promotion last year and a really good start to the season in the First Division, and wish you all the best today and for the remainder of the year.
Awesome. Thanks, Corey.
And we're going to throw out now to the reserves game, which is just wrapped up behind us. Plenty of applause going on there, so a bit of a thriller in the reserve grade. So a little short break for us to catch up with some of the reserve grade action, which is wrapping up. You'll be able to catch the two teams going through their handshakes before we finish our build-up towards kickoff here today in the main game. Welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen. Corey Rosser here, joined today, as always, by Troy Hardy. We are live from Murray Halberg Park for today's Round 4 SAS Fox Memorial Premiership qualifiers clash between the Bay Roskill Vikings and the Marist Saints. Troy, nice day for it so far. The rain holding off for the time being, and a really good crowd down here, which has been building over the last 45 minutes or so.
Absolutely, mate. And if you're in the neighbourhood, please come down and join us at the home of the Marist Saints. They're in for a really competitive match today as Blockhouse Bay are warming up along with Marist out there on our screen. You can see them. And I think it's going to be a really good match today. So, yeah, if you're in the neighbourhood, come down and join us. Tuck shop's open. It's all happening.
Okay, we're going to run you through a few of the results from last weekend. We'll start with our second tier, the Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship qualifiers. A couple of big scores in this one. Mount Wellington getting up 64-20 over the Papatoetoe Panthers. Manukau 36 over Ponsonby 20. The Otara Scorpions 16. Newland Stags 14. A real thriller there. Played at Ngāti Otara Park. The Te Aratū Roosters getting up 52-18 over the Waitemata Seagulls. Now, Troy, we've streamed both of those teams this year, but that Te Aratū Roosters team, from what we saw of them a couple of weeks ago, pretty formidable looking outfit.
Absolutely. You know, they lost one of their marquee players. I think he'll be out for a couple of weeks with injury, but he'll definitely be back to her. Their captain. So, you know, speedy recovery to him. Big shout out. Also managed to catch Franklin Pukekohe Pythons. Got to come up with the right name for them. and they're looking pretty good too. So I think there's a lot of action happening inside, you know, the Fox Championship for sure.
Another big game, Pukekohe getting up 38-30 over the Hibiscus Coast Raiders. That's two teams who are really pushing hard for that top four. Pukekohe undefeated so far and tracking along really nicely under coach Jody Henry. The other result, Pakuranga getting up 32-24 over the Northern Brothers. So look at some of the action that's going to be taking place today in those Fox Championship qualifiers, and we've got Ellerslie at home to Waitemata. That promises to be a good game. The Ellerslie Eagles sitting just outside that top four right now, remembering the top four is the crucial cutoff mark. That decides whether or not you go up to that Fox Championship or drop down to the Sharman Cup competition. Northern Brothers are at home to the Otara Scorpions. Pukekohe, they host the Te Aratū Roosters out at the Karaka Sports Park. That'll be a really good game. Absolutely, two top four sides as well. And Troy, you've obviously seen a little bit of both of those two teams. What can you tell us about maybe what we can expect from that match?
Well, I think that's going to be a championship decider for them. You know, the two big dogs are going to be going at it, and I think that'll set them up for, you know, the qualifying series in regards to who's going to be top of the ladder moving in towards, you know, where the business end counts.
Staying out south, and Manukau are home to Papatoetoe. Ponsonby take on the Hibiscus Coast Raiders up at Stanmore Bay, and Pakuranga take on Mount Wellington in an East Auckland derby. The Newland Stags have the bye this weekend. So a little look at the table, and as you can see at the top there, it is the flawless Pukekohe Pythons, a perfect 5 from 5. They sit on 10 competition points. 2 points back, the Otara Scorpions, who are tied on points in this sort of log jam that's starting to form at the back end of this top four. We've got Otara, Te Aratū and Pakuranga all locked on 8 points there. Otara with the superior points for and against percentage as it stands right now. Ellerslie sitting just outside that top four right now, 1 point adrift. Then Hibiscus Coast under coach Bluey McLean and the Newland Stags, who are coming along nicely after winning the second tier Sharman Cup title last year. And then the next group back, Manukau, Northern Brothers, Mount Wellington, Waitemata, Ponsonby and Papatoetoe. And for Ponsonby and Papatoetoe, yet to pick up a victory this year, but a chance to do that this weekend as they take the field. So that's how things look in the second tier competition. And Troy, one thing we can say about, I think, this new structure, it's made for plenty of excitement around this second division, and I know we've got some big numbers online for this competition as well. Everyone's pretty pumped about it.
Oh, absolutely. You know, just on your social media page, I think, you know, you're getting 50, 60,000 people tracking the table. So there's a lot of passion around it, and as you can see from the table there, the competition's thick and fast.
Moving now to the first division, which is, of course, the competition we are streaming today, starting with the Bay Roskill Vikings, who went down 22-28 to Northcote. Northcote sort of made a flying start there and then fell away a little bit in the middle, but got the job done. Machu Stone Dunn, another standout performer for Jeff Morton's side in that game. Richmond get up for their first victory of the year in a big scoring game, 46-36 over the Papakura Sea Eagles. That's two teams who probably haven't made the start to the year they would have hoped, but a big victory there for the Richmond Bulldogs. Glenora Bears, they go down to the Mount Albert Lions 22-20, and that game gives Mount Albert Lions the rooster. Well, Troy, I'm not sure if many people were sort of predicting it, just given the way things have gone for Mount Albert over the last few years. But their start to the season under John Ackland, super impressive.
Absolutely, and I think, a lot of respect for John, and he would have certainly, gelled that group together, and you only have to look at the performance, top of the ladder, who would have picked that? And they've got a big, interesting game today, and I think you'll probably touch on that soon. They're up against Point Chevalier, and, Point really need to pull finger, to be fair. They're at the bottom of the table, and no one would have picked that either.
That's right, and talking of Point Chev, a heavy defeat to Otahu. It was 10-8 at half-time, and then Otahu gone with the job 44-10. A brilliant, brilliant result for the South Aucklanders, and great to see Richie Halani as well, the big front rower, getting a hat-trick last week. He's a really good forward in this competition. He was great last year as well. The Mangere East Hawks, big win for them, 54-16 over the Manurewa Marlins. And the Howard Hornets, Troy, well, they beat the Marist Saints, who were streaming today, 30 points to 12. This Howard Hornets team, they have a lot of comings and goings each year, but they just seem to keep on going. Sean Clark spread a really good culture out there.
Absolutely, and they've got a really tight culture in regards to, a core group of players. I really love Jethro Friend. He's dynamic around the half. And Big Tony Tui is still carrying it forward, and he's a great pathfinder for them.
Okay, a little look at the games going on today in the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership qualifiers. Of course, we're at Murray Halberg for Marist Saints up against the Bay Roskill Vikings. The other games, Otahu up against Papakura. That'll be a really good game, a nice South Auckland derby there. Northcote, they are at home to the Richmond Bulldogs. Richmond looking to build on that victory picked up last week. A big ask for the Manurewa Marlins as they seek their first victory of the year. They take on the Glenora Bears, and the Bears no doubt hurting from that Root Rooster loss last weekend.
Absolutely. I think that's going to be a tough day in the office for the Marlins. They're talking to Greg. He's very passionate around the Manurewa team, and he thinks that they could be, pulling a surprise today. It will surprise everyone, I'm sure.
And look, a lot of young players in that team as well, and as we know can happen there, winning and losing is contagious when you're a young player. So look, I'm sure at some point Manurewa will manage to turn it around, remembering they sit on arguably the best junior nursery in New Zealand as well. Yeah,
true. And one thing about, for Manurewa and Bay Roskill for that matter, when they come up against Point Chevalier, Glenora, it's not a holiday for them. Everybody gets up for those big games, and I'm sure that the young crew there at Manurewa will definitely be looking forward to their clash today.
The other game, Howick taking on Mangere East, and Mount Albert up against Point Chev. This was a big rivalry game for much of this decade. Of course, they met in a couple of grand finals there. That'll be a really good game as well at Walker Park. Now, look at the ladder, and on top, it is the Mount Albert Lions, who are the perfect 3 from 3, along with the Northcote Tigers. Northcote tracking nicely after losing the likes of Taylor Daniels and Trent Shonkel over the off-season. Tucked in just behind the Glenora Bears, Mangere East Hawks made a really good start to life under coach Richie Blackmore. The Howard Hornets and Richmond Bulldogs round out the top half of the competition, and then just back, the Papakura Sea Eagles and Bay Roskill Vikings, along with the Otahu Leopards and Marist Saints and Point Chevalier, all on 2 points. And at the bottom, the only team yet to pick up a victory, the Manurewa Marlins. Well, Troy, probably a few surprises on that ladder. What do you make of how things look after 3 weeks?
Competition's all about winning every single week, and you can't take a second chance at any of this. These qualifying rounds, every 2 points counts. And like today, for instance, Marist and Bay Roskill, whoever wins today, they get a 4 point on their ladder board achievement, and that's certainly then start to spread the pack a wee bit. So very important day for both Bay Roskill and Marist.
Okay, not long till kickoffs now, ladies and gentlemen. We can see the Bay Roskill Vikings in the left-hand corner of your screen there, just making their way off the park. A pretty positive start to life in the first division for them. They sit in 8th position, lost their season opener to Papakura, a try in the last sort of 10 seconds there, causing them to go down in that one. They had a win in round 2 and narrow defeat last week to Northcote. And a similar story really for the Marist Saints, who have the one victory. A good one over the Richmond Bulldogs, and for them probably just a case of finding some form and starting to build off that. Zane Pocklington and Francis Mellie, new coaches in charge as well, and 2 of the real good young coaches that we've got in this competition as well.
How cool is that to have them down here? And, talking with the chairman earlier on today, he said he's really pleased with the culture that they're trying to achieve here with the club. And you can see the Marist Saints now coming onto the field, led out there by Missy. And they're in their centennial jersey today, the new white strip. So celebrating 100 years in Auckland Rugby League, and what a marvellous achievement that is.
Yes, indeed, and do feel sorry for the person washing that kit. Troy and I touched on it earlier. Perhaps Devesh at Waterview Laundromat there is taking care of things for the white strip for the Marist Saints. We will run you now through the team lists and how the sides will take the field, and there are a few changes, not so much for Marist, but we will start with the home team, the Marist Saints, and at the back it's fellow Nico. Christian Ulukita comes in on the wing. He joins Jeremiah Schuster, this promising young player who plays for Mount Albert Grammar. We've seen him in action in the SAS College Rugby League competition as well. Numia and Seal in the halves, and up front there's plenty of size there. Nimia and Akaola. Missy Mau will guide this team around at dummy half. Such an experienced campaigner at 32 years of age, tends to just control things really well, and super important, I think, Troy, as well, when you've got young halves.
Absolutely, and they've got some really great talent there with Samesi. He's been a proven performer season in and season out. So looking forward to him performing well today here at the home ground.
The back row is Tamasi, Nahi and Kavaliku, and on the bench Akaola, Dixon, Misa and Foloaki. And for the visitors today, the Bay Roskill Vikings, they line up as follows, and there are a few changes there. As you can see, they named a fairly large squad midweek. That has been trimmed down. I can confirm they will take the field with 17. Corey Vogel is the fullback, such a good performer last year in the second division. Tanielu and Kaliopasi are the wingers. Vogel and Tafutu in the centres. Jerome Ropati, what a man that is to have in your halves. The former Kiwi international and long-time New Zealand Warriors player. He will be the chief playmaker in this team. He joins Alex Tuala in the halves. Moses Ongi, who played for the Auckland Premier team last year, and Jonathan Ware is the number 9. Jonathan Ware as well, a real key player. He was brilliant for them last year, particularly in that grand final victory over the Manurewa Marlins. Xavier Tutaki in the front row. Leo Sevi, Henry and Mamia are the back row. And on the bench, Kali Lupo, Vogel, Hookie and Big Mackenzie Kata. So that is how they will take the field today, ladies and gentlemen, as the two teams break from their huddles and talking to from the referee. And our middleman today is Nathan Barker-Pringle, one of the real good, young, promising referees in the Auckland club scene. Has been involved in the Auckland and the Australian competitions, I should say, as well. He is assisted by Kiko Puhipi Hibbs and Corey Jewell. So those are our match officials today. We are just about set to go here, ladies and gentlemen, live from Murray Halberg Park. And it will be the Bay Roskill Vikings to get us underway. They're going to kick down to the car park end here at Murray Halberg Park, and you'll see on screen when we go to our wider shots just the big crowd that is down here today. One thing about the Marist Saints, always so well supported. They've brought through some brilliant talent over the years and a real family club. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The Marist Saints bringing it in, and they will get us underway here in round 4 of the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership qualifiers. Messimo looking to get things going energy-wise early on here. We'll clap at dummy half, just looking to speed things up, the man in the headgear. He jumps out of dummy half now and just hands off to his left and brings in Akaola, and number 10. Back through the middle they come. Solid contact that time. It was led by Ongi. A little bit sloppy there, but cleaned up eventually. There's Kavaliku who takes the ball to ground. They are 40 metres out and they will get to the kick. It's a high one, a real tester at the back here. Ropati's under it. He doesn't want a bar of it. The ball's allowed to bounce and Vogel gets it. It's now been spilt. There should be play on, and Schuster picks it up. So advantage Marist in the first minute here as the ball is not diffused, and now the Saints go forward looking for the first try, and there it is. Marist are on the board, and it is Feliti Nahi who opens the scoring. What about this from the Marist Saints? Talk about racing out of the blocks. We now take a look on the SAS Fox replay, but all too easy for the Saints early on.
So we're just waiting for the slow motion play. The ball here came off the back of an error, and they capitalised on that. Good, strong carry. Really didn't look at any time that he was going to unload there, and basically just carried them to the line, and swift try. Marist Saints up, 4 points.
So a dream start for the home team there. It was pretty poor from Bay Roskill not diffusing that kick. There were sort of two players on a bar of it, and in the end, Corey Vogel left with a difficult one which spills loose. But a dream start for Francis Mellie and Zane Pocklington's team as they now line up the conversion, and it's going to be Lewis Seal, the 19-year-old playmaker, to kick this one. And makes no mistakes, and it is the Saints who lead 6-0 after 2 and a bit minutes here at Murray Halberg Park.
And a big thank you to our major sponsors of the Fox Memorial, sponsored by SAS Sporting Apparel, and other sponsors to be given the heads up. Crown Lift Trucks not only look after our Fox Championship, they're also the major sponsors of the Auckland Referees Association out there today, taking control in the centre of the park. And if you're wanting to be a referee, go online, aucklandleague.co.nz. They'd love to have you.
You can also check out the Auckland Rugby League Referees Association Facebook page, which is fairly active as well. So back to it we go, and it's fielded in by Seal, who then goes to Akawola. Important that they complete this set and get down the other end of the park and really make a good start in this match. While they have got that first try, it doesn't mean a lot if you back it up with an error. So an important set here early on for the Marist Saints. Good line speed that time from Bay Roskill, and they contain him 40 metres out. There's Ma'u looking to get things moving. Look at that. Once that quick play, the ball hands out to his right side, and they go up over halfway. Sam saw Mellie this time. Ma'u clears the ruck. Heads back to the middle. This is Kavaliku, dummies and driving those legs. They are 35 metres out from the line. Last tackle coming up. Out the back it goes. Seal looks high again, and why wouldn't you after what happened last time? This time Bay Roskill's going to attack it. The ball spilt loose again. 2 bombs, 2 drops for Bay Roskill, and now Marist with another set of 6. They'll start this one about 35 out from the line. Ma'u at dummy half, shuffles out to his left to Kavaliku. This is big Lenny Nimir, the Samoan under 20s rep. Another play out to the left edge, and Seal will take it to the line this time. Is contained under the tackle of Kaliopasi. Kavaliku had to let it bounce and then eventually brought it in. The momentum stalls a little that time for the Marist Saints. Set heavy to the right now. Ma'u will go that way. Another strong carry forward from the try scorer, Nahi. Slow play of the ball. Numir short to Nimir. Last tackle coming up. Playmakers set either side. Ma'u says we will go the way of Seal, who kicks in behind. It's way too heavy. And the Bay Roskill Vikings survived that one. But boy, a bit of a rough start to the game for the Bay Roskill Vikings. Troy having some real trouble with that high ball early on.
Well, 5 minutes in, and they're yet to have a set, and here they come.
So first use of the footy for the Bay Roskill Vikings, who are already 6-0 down, as you can see on the scoreboard there. There's a first good carry from Zion Tanielu. John O'Weir now jumps into dummy half. Hands out to his right. The wingers getting involved early on. Kaliopasi on this occasion taking the ground. Ongi hits the line hard. I mentioned in the build-up, an Auckland representative last year. Really impressed with that powerful running style of his. A different shape in the middle of the park. A really rangy player. He played a little bit on the edge as well last year. Now Ropati goes to the line. He gets the offload away, but it's ruled back and called forward by referee Barker Pringle, and that's where the set will end for the Bay Roskill Vikings. Not a bad result for them, though. They end up deep in opposition territory after that first few minutes of the game, first 5 minutes, where they did not touch the ball.
Wonderful crowd building down here, as Corey mentioned earlier. A lot of support for the Bay Roskill Vikings. They've travelled across Auckland today, and it's absolutely packed out around the stadium. I call it the stadium.
So Marist now looking to work this ball up to halfway. A really tough year for them last year. Finished last in the competition, and this year was always going to be about rebuilding under new coaching staff and a few new faces as well. A few players who chose to follow Zane Pocklington across from Point Chevalier as well. And some returning club juniors who obviously keen to come back and make the most of the 100-year celebrations for the Marist Saints
run.
here. Now hitting the line at speed, and the Marist Saints, they might go through here. Brilliant covering tackle from Corey Vogel, and that's all that denies Reese Tamasi from the try line. Now they swing out the back. Seal to Numia. Numia goes to the line. A little bit of footwork. Brings Nahi into it. Nahi now kicks. It hits the SAS upright. The ball is loose. Nahi picks it up, and he'll take his second. Felitti Nahi, just like that. The little kick in behind, he ended up hitting the uprights, and Johnny on the spot to pick it up. Well, Troy, 2 tries to get back row, and, well, they won't come much easier than that one.
And he planned that. He'll tell you he planned that. And we can see on the SAS Fox replay here, big second row dancing, the vertical sidestep, and just nudged that one in off the SAS upright, and it looked like he aimed at it. I don't think he was too surprised getting it back into his hands as he flops over and scores the try. Good work.
Great skill from Felitti Nahi, who has had a start to the game he will not forget. A junior of the Griffith Panthers in Australia, also part of the Brumbies under-18s rugby union setup in the past. And Seal from in front, no mistake again, it is the Marist Saints who lead 12 points to 0, 8.5 minutes gone here at Murray Halberg Park.
Well, I think the Marist Saints, and dare I use that pun, but I won't, Corey, because it's far too early in the day to bring it out. What a fabulous start it is for them. So Bay Roskill need to reset. Bit of a conversation going on out there now. They've got to get back into this game, and they've got to do it quickly.
So back into it off the boot of Vogel. That's Corey Vogel. There are a number of them in this team.
Big run.
Marist straight back into it. Up over the top that time. Missy Mau gets to a quick play of the ball. They work it down the short side. With all the momentum right now, the Saints. And a vocal home crowd behind them as well. 4 short of halfway. Mau jumps out and has a little dart himself. He gets 12 or so meters on that one. Seal. Kavaliku. Goes out the back door. Well read, though, by Jerome Ropati, showing all his experience that time to get up and in and quickly close down his opposite number, Numia. Seal has to step back inside to get to his kick. Another bomb. Can they defuse this one, Bay Roskill? Vogel just about put that one down, but reels it in nicely in the end and returns now and gives his team their second use of the footy so far in this game. So 35 off their line now. We're at dummy half. Comes back to the middle where he finds Tutaki. The Auckland Māori under-20 representative. Of course, played for a number of years at this club and played with Dad Matt last year as the Vikings won the Sharman Cup competition. Matt on the sideline today. Dangerous tackle that time. Yeah, lifted up and above the horizontal, and thankfully straight back up to the feet was Ulukita.
We got one in front, still one in front.
So this to put a little bit more pressure now on Bay Roskill.
Step on.
Seal
Yeah, we're on the 5.
puts that one into touch, about 5 short of the halfway
Make me here.
mark.
Yeah, on the foot. Contact. Good. Go for it. Moving now, 13. Up 9. Kicking. Hold! Yeah, go now. 1.
Kavaliku to Numia, who turns back inside and finds the man already with a double next to his name, Nahi.
Yeah. Go.
Mau. 1 to his left now and brings in the 17,
Up
Sesi
now, 9.
Faluaki.
Go. 3.
Kavaliku goes to the line to Seal, short
Let him up
again.
now, 12.
Really testing them here are the Marist
Four,
Saints.
out, 5. Okay.
Mo jumps out, quick play of the ball, space on the left edge, try, Marist are in again. And it's David Olufai who finishes in the left-hand corner there, but just too much ruck speed. Too many big men in the end, Troy, they catch them short out on that left edge.
So as we go through the SAS Fox replay,
Your call, kick.
missing into the dummy half quickly, fake to go right and just goes down that short side. And they had enough numbers there, held the ball up really
Go well
well,
so far.
puts the centre in on the
No stand out yet.
sideline
Yeah, no,
corner
they got
flag
slow on,
there,
so we'll just keep an eye on them. Yeah.
and the celebration commence.
So they're racing the scoreboard as it stands. 16 on there and only 13 gone. And they start straight out of the wildest dreams of Coach Mellie and Pocklington, no doubt. See some of the crowd there in the background here at Murray Halberg.
Wait there. Wait, fellas.
So after two kicks from in front, a difficult one here for Seal. Right up on the sideline, strikes it okay, but it's away, and it will remain Marist Saints 16, Bay Roskill Vikings 0. 13 and a half gone.
Take it back. Go back. They have another
And
kick. He gets another one.
What's happening
We're
there?
We're going to have a
Yeah.
second kick here. Just trying to pick up on the ref audio, and it may have been that the Bay Roskill Vikings have
What you did tell us.
Moved in front of the
advanced
goal
Yeah, we
post.
got an warning.
We just
Yeah, exactly.
see if we can listen into our referee
Drive,
audio
drive.
there. But anyway, the end result is a second chance at the kick here, and Seal with the opportunity to make the adjustment straight away and try and stretch this lead out to 18 for the Marist Saints.
Here it comes, Corey. Yep.
On his
Away,
second
away,
attempt, it is away again. So after a little false start there, it will remain Marist Saints 16, Bay Roskill Vikings 0. Now 14 and a half gone here at Murray Halberg Park.
Where would we go here?
So Bay Roskill coming back now, getting ready to reset for the third time today. Probably, looking at the stat here, 2-3 handling errors. 2 of them are off the bomb, so I think Marist won't be shying away from using that tactic for the rest of the half. And the penalty didn't help, so, they score another try, and it's going to have to be some tightening up on the Vikings defence, because I think Marist is certainly going to get the tails up now, and here they come running from the back gate. Met well on that tackle.
Out to the left they come and bring in the left side back rower. It's Reese Massey. Kavaliku goes to the line himself that time. He's featured heavily in the ball playing in these opening exchanges. Falawaki. Mau. Come out to this right edge now. Nahi has taken the ground right on halfway. Jerome Ropati involved in that tackle along with his centre. Now Seal gets some kick pressure from Ropati, manages to evade it and gets to the kick, and now Vogel has a kinder one this time after having to field a few bombs in these opening exchanges, and he will take it down and return it to about the 30.
Just off screen, Corey, some of the Vikings are still coming slowly back into position. They have to get some shape about them if they're willing to, capitalise off having the ball.
Missy's in front. Number 9.
Ropati goes out the back and goes short in the end to Tutaki. Last play coming up now for the Bay Roskill Vikings. Ropati will kick, drills this one down to the corner. It's going to stay, and there's a chase on here. Well covered at the back in the end. It's by the number 1, Falaniko, for the Marist Saints. And now They look to ruck it out from inside their 10. Better set that time from the Bay Roskill Vikings. Troy Jerome Ropati heavily involved as well.
Absolutely. They need to try and have a wee bit of line speed down here with their defence, try and keep them down here.
Here's Schuster.
Good little player, Schuster.
Mo. No look pass and then brings in Kavaliku, who picks up 10 on the fly and then is taken down. John Ipu involved in the tackle as well. Spin it out the back now, and it's a long kick this time. Vogel looks to have it covered. Also the back rower hanging around there, Daniel Henry. At least he's wearing the 12.
See all the traffic, the Viking, Bay Roskill Vikings still slowly getting back into position. We're all reset now.
Vogel carts it up to just over the 40. Calls off release in the tackle. Where?
Oh,
Leo Sevi gets decked on halfway. He goes out the back. It's loose. Ropati has to clean up, and now they're going to try and shift the ball a little bit here. Tuala goes to the line, and they end up with negative yardage on that set. Offload. Ware scoops it up, and then a looping ball over the top. This is messy from the Vikings, and Numia sets on in there, and they go nowhere on that play. Tutaki the dummy half. Ropati will kick long.
not a bad kick.
And out on the full, I believe. Yes, it was. So Jerome Ropati, just as Troy says, not a bad kick. Puts the mocker on poor old Jerome, and it's out on the full. And the Marist Saints now will start this set from around about halfway. So just lost their way a little bit that time. They started the set all right, the Bay Roskill Vikings, but struggling in the face of some aggressive line speed from the Marist Saints, and Marist get exactly the result they were hoping for, and they start this set already in the opposition half. Dixon, fresh on the park. Borderline pass that time from Au. Referees say play on is the call. Seal goes out the back. They hit Nahi, who looks to change direction. He's got his eyes on an early hat-trick. Mau, looping ball out over the top, finds Seal. Now Tamasi dummies and then looks to duck in himself, but not falling for it on that occasion, the Bay Roskill Vikings. Seal goes out the back, half to half. Numia going across field. Contained that time and dragged to ground by Tanielu. Last play coming up now. Nahi to Seal. Space here on the edge. Marist. Seal steps back inside. They got their fourth. Lewis Seal steps his way in, and the Marist Saints are on fire. They stretch the lead out to 20 with 20 minutes gone in Halberg Park.
SAS Fox Memorial action replay. Just coming to the end of that completed tackle there. Missy into the ruck. Didn't he have a beautiful no-look pass earlier on? Certainly put them under pressure. They shift the ball on the right-hand side here, and basically, nice little dummy. Sold that well, stepped inside, and really that tackle ineffective, and 4 points for the Marist Saints.
Glad you mentioned the impact of Messi Mau there, Troy. Hasn't he been brilliant to start this game? The speed of the ruck is just killing Bay Roskill right now.
Absolutely, and I mean, he's talented, you know. The no-look pass that we just touched on, that he's done that twice in the first 20 minutes, and every time he's done it, he's put the defence into second guessing, and he's opening them up, he's putting them under pressure, and what's the outcome from that? 4 tries on the board so far.
Of course, comes from a very talented family. His brother, Messi Mau, an NRL player for the Parramatta Eels, out injured to start the season, but he'll be looking to kick on and try and get into the frame for those internationals coming up later in the year. So Seal to attempt this conversion.
Coming in. Looking good.
Strikes it, and it is good, and the Saints stretch it out to a 22-point lead after 21.5 minutes. Well, really, the Bay Roskill Vikings just with no answer for what the Marist Saints have thrown at them so far. And this is not really reflective of their season so far. Their defense has been pretty good, the Bay Roskill Vikings, and similar story for the Marist Saints, who have only averaged 18 points over the first 3 rounds. Well, they're already well and truly up and above that and showing no signs of slowing down anytime soon. So a high one which is allowed to bounce, and lucky to get that one back in the end, the Marist Saints, right up against that left-hand sideline. Here's Dixon, the former Bay man himself, won the title with them last year. Today he comes up against his brothers. Missy Moe gets a dummy half. Comes back to the middle of the park. That's better defense from the Bay Roskill Vikings, putting a bit of physicality back into the middle. It's Mackenzie Carter who overdoes it though. The second effort, a clear-cut penalty, and now puts his team under all sorts of pressure again. Back chat as well. They'll march another 10. Jerome Ropati wants to have a chat. Barker Pringle says now is not the time.
Just experience showing there, trying to slow it down a wee bit, always to get some oxygen into the lungs. So they now have to do some work. Here comes the mahi.
Here we are. When he cuts the ball, stop behind the bar. Wait.
So the Saints looking for try number 5. Start with a carry from Faluaki.
Here. Ball quick at 17.
Numia goes out to that right edge. It's put down. Probably just guilty that time, saw Mellie, of taking a look up and what was in front of him and forgetting to catch the ball. So the Bay Roskill Vikings get let off pretty easy on that particular play. But boy, oh boy, do they need a couple of good sets right now, Troy. Really struggling to assert their dominance in the middle. They do have some big bottles there. You would think a guy like Moses Ongi is probably the one to spark them back into life.
Well, somebody needs to, because they need to show a little bit of patience on the ball. You know, they've only completed a few sets. They've been starved of the ball so far. This may well be an opportunity for them. So, coming off the back of the first handling error for the Marist Saints today.
It's a good carry. Cutter. The ball forward nicely that time. Mamia goes out the back door. This is better from the Bay Roskill Vikings. Cutter again lines up for it and gets the penalty. Gave one away a few minutes ago, earns it that time, and now the Vikings, which I think is their first penalty of the match,
correct, yep,
will get the chance to set up camp down this end of the park. Ropati in no hurry. He'll want to just slow things down and allow his charges to reset. Puts this one safely into touch right into the clubhouse here at Murray Halberg Park. Clubhouse that is potentially not going to be there for too much longer. Big plans to revamp the facilities down here, and it is long overdue, of course. The facilities down here at Murray Halberg Park showing their age, and great to see Chairman Tony Lyman with the vision to set things up. It's going to be really cool by the time it's all finished.
Yeah, it's okay. Hands in the ball.
So Kaliopasi gets them back underway. Great chance here for the Vikings. Ongi hits it hard and looks to find his front, gets the offload away, and now they're charging forward. Ball just about came loose that time, but they hold on to it. John O'Weir rushes the dummy half. Ropati now on the ball, turns back inside to Cutter. Cutter says, I'll go straight ahead. Is taken down 5 meters out from the line. The Vikings now looking to get on the board after a horror start to the game. Ropati goes backdoor. Tuala dancing. Tuala will go close. Another penalty. Shoulder charges, the call. And the Vikings will want to get moving here. They're scrambling Marist, and Bay Roskill will know it. The tap and go. Ongi hits the line hard, and look at how quick the play the ball is as well from Ongi. Brilliant stuff. Ropati goes short at the line, brings in his back rower. This is the 12. Henry. Mamia, in fact, it is. My apologies. Out the back it comes now to one of the interchange men, Hooky. Quick play the ball. Ongi jumps on the end of it. Ongi should score here. Instead he loses the ball. Boy, oh boy, they were so close that time when Ongi jumped out of dummy half. It looked like it was all over, but the ball comes loose. Knock on, trying to place the ball on the line is the call, and They get that one spot on that time, the referees. Marist Saints will take something from that. Troy, all very well, scoring 22 points, but when you can back it up at the other end as well, it does wonders for your confidence.
Yeah, and as we get ready for the scrum to reset here, just having a couple of quick looks, they managed to get a few completed sets up. Gave away a couple of penalties though, and that last handling error didn't do them any favours.
So 27 minutes gone here at Murray Halberg. It is the Marist Saints who lead 22 points to 0. If you're just tuning in, 4 tries in quick succession for the Marist Saints. They have started this game on fire as we approach the final 10 minutes or so of this first half. Here's young Schuster, the 17-year-old winger. Physical defense that time on Filaniko. Oh, jumps out of dummy half, catches a lazy marker and chews off 10 metres easy. Look at him fighting for that quick play of the ball. He is really winding the clock back today. Vogel takes it cleanly, looks up and sees nothing but white jerseys. Nice run that time from Tuala. Ropati takes that one in. They're 40 metres out off their own try line now. Kata has to rush to dummy half. Ropati misses out Leo Sefi, instead brings in the number 3, which is Jerome Vogel. Up over halfway now, a chance to end this set on a positive note as Ropati looks to the heavens. Ball is loose, but it's called back for a knock-on. And Marist now will start this set on halfway. You see in the background there, Coach John Ipu. I'll be fairly concerned with some of the things he's seen in the opening exchanges of this one. He's missing some key personnel today. 2 Henrys, Ben and Chioneth, who are 2 real leaders in this squad. Without both of them today. Schuster. Good carry. Picks him up over halfway and looking for that quick play of the ball. Cutler does his best to slow down.
Movement now, 17. Okay.
Oh, heads to his left and picks up another of the fresh men on the park. This one's Misa. Sunia Akuola, the other of the dummy half options. Mau plays short at the line. Good defence, Bay Roskill. They get there in numbers. Need to make sure they wrap that ball up though. And that's where the play will end. Really good defence that time from the Vikings, Troy. Boy, they threw some big bodies at them close to the line. And Bay Roskill now will play this one 5 metres out from their line. You can see in the background there, John O'Ware has disappeared into the end goal. Not sure if he's picked up an injury or perhaps just taking the opportunity to get a breather in. The outside backs will be required to do plenty of work on this set with the hooker out of action. And it looks like he is leaving the field, so that'll be an interchange by the look of it for the Bay Roskill Vikings. John O'Ware off the park. Vogel taking the ground. Ropati to Leo Sevi. Timothy Vogel onto the park, one of 3 or 4 Vogels playing today. Strong family connection here at Bay Roskill. Remember last year in the grand final, about 80% of their squad was somehow related to each other, so a real family atmosphere in this top side. Vogel now brings it in, and now he's got wheels. Vogel disappearing down the right-hand side. Bay Roskill are going to open their account. Corey Vogel scoops up the loose kick, and then from there, lightning down that right edge, and he gets the Vikings onto the scoreboard right on the half hour.
The SAS Fox replay, and we're just seeing the back end of a wonderful kick, and they regather here, and did he turn the turbo jets on? Clean set of heels, brings it back round towards the post, and he showed a certain ton of speed there. Marist defenders just trying to cut that pathway off, bring it a bit closer to the uprights, make it a bit more for the kicker. Great try.
Your call.
Waiting for the kick to come. We can hear the trainers inside the Bay Roskill Vikings huddle. And hopefully that'll give them a wee bit of belief now in regards to turning their attack on.
So Moses Ongi it is to attempt the conversion, and I do love a goal kicking prop. Rarity in today's game.
Here it comes. Yep. Oh, away to the left.
And that one is away, so it remains Marist Saints 22, Bay Roskill Vikings 4. Just about 33 minutes gone here at Murray Halberg Park, and Troy, probably a timely reply for the Bay Roskill Vikings. You think if they go in 22-0 down, it's got to really affect and I guess implement a bit of a negative attitude there, but something to work towards now.
Absolutely. So they know that they can score tries now. They've got enough speed on the outside. You know, they've proven that. So they'll take you know, a lot of positivity out of that and probably try to work on that at the half-time break.
Back underway we go, and Bay Roskill field it with Vogel, the try scorer.
Offload.
Gets the offload away as well, so a little bit of second phase now starting to come into this. The cameraman's lost the ball.
Release now.
30 metres out from the line.
17 off, 17.
Ropati to Leo Sevi, who goes with the cutout pass, looking for space on that edge, and they weren't far off finding it. Schuster did a good job to come in and close things down that time. Timothy Vogel clears the ruck. Head back to the middle. Good yardage on offering in this set for the Bay Roskill Vikings. And a penalty as well. The tide's starting to turn now for the Vikings, and all of a sudden it's them who probably don't want half-time to come. Just as they start to generate some momentum, although this is going to go the other way.
Really cool, yep.
He's going to get to his feet. He's going to get to his feet before he plays the ball.
Well, my apologies on that one. It has gone the way of the Marist Saints. And I'm guessing obstruction was the call, Troy. Not sure if you picked that one up.
I saw him award the penalty. I think it might have been a hand in there or some sort of obstruction. Still, it's awarded, and sort of the pressure comes off a wee bit because they're certainly starting to mount some. And you see Marist, you know, nonchalantly stroll up now for the restart.
So 5.5 minutes to play here. The Saints looking to add a fifth try to their tally and really cement that lead that they have built going into half-time. Mau, he's done the full half so far. Numia to Nahi. Nahi already with 2 tries. He's taken down 10 out from the line.
Good now.
Centralised now. Akawola. Only 5 short now. Marist. Back towards the middle of the park. Bay Roskill will do well to contain here, and they do just that, getting there in numbers. Right up against the line. Crucial set for the Vikings. Have to hold them out here. Seal goes out to the back door, wrapped up nicely that time though. It was a brilliant tackle from Khalil Passi. Mau to Seal. Seal shuffles play on. This is Numia to Nahi. Nahi goes to the line, looks to step through. Ropati manages to get the second phase alive. Hot potato footy here from the Marist Saints. They've got numbers out on this left edge. Kavaliku's going to go in. Om Kavaliku will finish it. The Marist Saints get their 5th try of the game. All of a sudden, just kill off that little comeback that was starting to build for the Bay Roskill Vikings.
So in the SAS Fox replay here, they managed to keep the ball alive. A lot of second phase play here. This was the final tackle, so you know there was meant to be a kick and play at some point, but they said no, we're going to throw it around, and they went from basically one side of the field to the other. There's the magic man Missy, little short pass there, just held that defender up. And the big lock had enough room to go through and score a wonderful try. I don't know how many passes were strung together there, but I'm going to go with 10.
About 5 or so to go.
be such a cruel game at times, Troy. You just felt like Bay Roskill were finally starting to build some momentum and confidence, and that penalty goes against them, and all of a sudden, Marist Saints are down the other end of the park, scoring another try. So it's all it takes sometimes. Momentum so important in this game. And Bay Roskill's stalled there with that penalty, and Marist take full advantage. Kick comes off the post, so it will remain 26 points to 4, 37 minutes gone at Murray Halberg Park. You are joining us for round 4 of the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership qualifiers, our first division game we've streamed this year, of course, with round 1 being on Sky Television. We've managed to squeeze in a couple of Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship games as well, which has been very enjoyable.
That would be the understatement of the day out there on the Vikings camp. We need to inject some energy. And here they go. Let's make the last few minutes count here in this first half.
Big contact there. Good run from Filuaki. Vogel and Ropati that time joining in. Missy Mo directing the troops at the bottom of the ruck. Forward is the call from the players, not so the match officials. 40 out from the line now, the Marist Saints. 2 minutes to play in this half by our count. Seal turns back to Tomasi. The less involved of the back rowers so far, but has looked good every time he's touched the footy. Mo gets onto the back of a quick play of the ball. They come back through the middle of the park. Last play coming up. On potentially their last use of the footy in this half, the Marist Saints. It's a high one. Tester now for the winger at the back, but it's taken nicely by Tanielu. Wasn't contested in the end. And now Bay Roskill, the chance to possibly have the final say in this half. Timothy Vogel, the dummy half. Kaliopasi, inside the 10 is the call. Bay Roskill now, they need to take this quickly. And Ropati knows it. Promptly kicks for touch and chews off plenty as well. They'll start this one 15 out from the line.
Back here. Back here. Make me.
Half a minute to play by our count. Ongi will be charged with the first hit up, driving those legs and looking to chew off every bit he can. It's a slow play of the ball though. Vogel to Leo Sevi, who's coming to the middle looking for some work. This is Hooky. Ball's come loose. Tried to offload is the call, and Marist now, you would think, let's wrap this ball up and get to the sheds, sitting on this 26-4 lead. Siren goes in the background. That'll get us to half-time. It is the Marist Saints 26, Bay Roskill Vikings 4. A dominant first half from the Saints, who coming into this match only had the one victory this year, sit behind Bay Roskill on the ladder, but completely convincing through that opening 40 minutes. A very short break from us before we resume the action here in the second half.
And don't go too far away, ladies and gentlemen, as we catch up with the ARL TV news and what's gone down this week.
10 minutes.
Kia ora everyone, my name is Rochelle Tamarua and welcome to ARL TV News. Today we'll be covering the Vulcans Under 16, Marist livestream and coaching workshops. Vulcans Under 16. While they were beaten on the scoreboard, the Auckland Vulcans Under 16s took plenty away from their clash against the Future Warriors. This was held on the big stage at Mount Smart Stadium. Coach TJ Ashford said it was a priceless development opportunity for all players involved. Marist livestream. Marist hosts Bay Roskill this weekend, and ARL TV will be live streaming that clash. Make sure to tune in on Saturday after 2 p.m. Marist celebrate their 100th birthday celebration. Catch all the action at www.aucklandleague.co.nz. Coaching workshops. We have a wonderful opportunity for all coaches out there. They're held at Mount Albert, Marirua and Cornwall Park. Find all the details at www.aucklandleague.co.nz. I'm Rochelle Tamarua. Thank you for joining the ARL TV News.
G'day, Vega Rasmussen here from the Auckland Rugby League Coaching and Development Department. I'm in charge of running all our coaching programs here at Auckland Rugby League, ranging from mini-mod under 6 to under 12s, international grades under 13 to under 20, and we also help assist in the facilitation of the senior club coaching course with NZRL. These are run at the beginning and the end of the season. Alongside this, we also run workshops which help further develop and upskill our coaches. Joining all the dots, we have our ARL Connecting Coaches Facebook page. If you have Facebook, jump on it. It's a great forum to share ideas and talk about common things happening within the rugby league space. For more information, visit www.aucklandleague.co.nz.
Oh, I do it again. Kia ora, my name is George Edwards from the beautiful club Papakura Seagulls. You'll catch us live on aucklandleague.com.
Hi, my name is Maka Carlo, play for the Pakuranga Jaguars. Catch us live on aucklandleague.co.nz.
Kenneth Henry, Bay Roskill. See all the action, aucklandleague.co.nz.
Hi, my name is Samuel Sumiri, play for Marist Saints. Catch us live on auckland.co.nz.
Charatua, Te Aratu Roosters. Catch all the league on auckland.co.
Okay, go have a rest. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are at Murray Halberg Park, home of the Marist Saints, and they are on fire, ladies and gentlemen. Just having a look at the first 40 minutes, Marist completed 10 carries, 10 sets, I should say, versus Bay Roskill only around the 5 mark, so that's probably, reflective of the scoreboard. But saying that, to compound matters, handling errors, only 1 by the Marist Saints and 6 handling errors, and a couple of them were off high bombs. So I don't know whether that will still be a strategy into the second half, just looking at where the sun is now setting, and maybe that had something to do with it. So Bay Roskill might be putting up the high ball, and to coin Corey Ross's favourite saying, they will look to go to the heavens. No bites, okay. Marist penalties, they've given away 3, and
It's 10 minutes, here we go, 20 past.
just having a quick look at where Bay Roskill sit. They're around the 4 mark, so that's not doing them any favours whatsoever. As we can see, Bay Roskill is still in the chat, so we wait for Corey's gracious appearance. And Marist, however, are getting ready to kick off. You can just see them on the edge of your TV screen there. They've teed up the ball, just as we see some random person walk past the commentary box doing circuits. Second circuit, we're told. And Marist all over the park at the moment, as we see the kicker there just having a final stretch. And they are set, ladies and gentlemen. They're ready. Bay Roskill, though, still having the chat. And it looks like they're breaking out now. So here come the Vikings. I'd like to welcome back in Corey Rosser. He's doing a fine job today, carrying a neck injury. And not many commentators would come out with that sort of pain. So good to have the young man here as Marist start teeing up. So, let's see what the Vikings have as a right of reply. Beautiful day here at Murray Halberg.